Okay, so I don't think we have a notes. We don't have a meeting notes section in here yet. So let me just try and do that. I'm not sure what we have to talk about today. But whatever it is, we're going to have minutes. So, all right, let's see.
We haven't met for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while since we caught up.
Okay, so it's up at the top. And basically put yourself in the registry if you're here. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's the one. Right. I don't know. No. Right.
I think
so
one thing we could talk about is the document links being all set up for a website. That was one of the items from the previous meeting.
Yeah, that's super cool. It was auto-generated, or someone from this group had to work on that?
It was actually done by David Wheeler. After Dan brought it up in the best practices working group, David went off and did it really quickly.
Yeah, I said something, and then David Wheeler did a bunch of stuff, and I was like, "Oops." So where do we see? What's the? I mean, I see the. What's the link?
That's.openssf.org. Let me drop it. I think this is the link to put it in chat.
Yeah. Okay. And sorry, I'm just trying to take notes. So is the current way this is set up then that it gets regenerated?
I believe based on what's in the docs folder, so as long as I think he has some GitHub action or something, a CI/CD set up to do it automatically.
Okay.
Okay, so basically we are done. I think so.
Maybe.
I was reviewing the previous action items, and I know there's tooling in there. It looks like Gnome or whoever added it in there, and then there was something related to putting a PR that I needed to get into. I need to go back and figure out what that was. I was just reviewing our notes from our 6/1 June 1st meeting.
Right. I guess that's the question, like what's left to be done.
Oh, okay. So I have a few things that I need to add in there related to if a project is going from, say, private to public, or a repo is getting transferred. I just need to add file a PR for that. So I know that's one thing that seems minor, but that's on the list.
I think one thing we need to add now is that the GitHub's new feature of rule sets, branch protection rule sets, that was in beta last time we talked about, is now enforced on new repositories.
Enforced?
On new repositories. If you open a new repo, it's now enforced. So I think we need to update the doc to reflect that.
Okay. You had said that you had tried it out and it was not predictable. I don't remember what you said. I don't know if you had a chance to try it out since.
Yeah, about 2 months ago when we tried it out, there were some problems in the API that you could toggle it on the branch protection in the rule set and off in the normal branch protection, and you couldn't tell which one is applied from the API. So I'm not sure about what's happening in the API right now. I will check it out. But I think at least in the document, we need to say something about that, because right now, if you open a new repo, you just can't create the old style branch protection rules.
Oh, okay. I guess I have to go and read it. Yeah.
Does that mean a change to the material that's generated out of Legitify?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I mean, basically either way, yeah, we can edit the markdown as we wish. So I can just add the policies manually or create them from the Legitify.
Is the advice then for people to work with the rule sets, or what is the advice? I mean, they have to, right, for new projects.
Yeah. You are asking about like all projects, if we should advise them.
What is the process now? Is it, because I can see what I probably have to play around with it to kind of make it educated. But I was just wondering what the flow is like, because there's going to be new projects and there's going to be old projects. I'm wondering what is the advice to apply the rule sets because the new projects are going to take it up, or.
Yeah, it's a good point, because it can make some confusion in maintaining this rules. What do you think?
I guess I'm assuming that people are not going to be able to go in and do things really quickly. So I hope that they had a way to do it gradually.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to come back to do you want to do a little analysis and come back with a proposal of what needs to change based on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there might be what needs to change from the Legitify docs. I might also go ahead and try to see what would change for from, like, say, if you're an OSPO type of, what's the flow going to look like for? I think that might be interesting as well.
The other thing that was on my mind, taking a look at the generated HTML documents that David produced, is do we like this? Are there things that we want to see differently? It's kind of people might get confused about. I mean, I was the one who suggested the icons. I don't know. Do we want to get some feedback from developers about what they think about it, and then And then also when you look at the individual pages, like if I go into default branch should be protected and I look at the GitHub page, there's no navigation back to the front page. Do we want to ask David to put something in that says like go back or something like that? I mean, obviously we've all got a back button, but you know, this isn't the 90s. Like we might want it.
That's a great point. The navigation, yeah.
Yeah, I think we want some navigation.
Yeah, because at least if you looked at the markdown straight up, you'd see the navigation on the side and some sort, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that front, if I may interject here, and I apologize, I mean, you know, I don't mean to barge in on your meeting. I usually have a conflict. I've been involved in the BEST working group, but I usually have an ongoing conflict, so I cannot attend. Today, my conflict cleared up, so I said, hey, I'm going to call in and see what's up. I will submit a pull request. I have been adding publication dates on the documents because when it's in GitHub, if you look through the GitHub repo, you see when the document was revised. But if you see it from the best.openssf.org website, there's no indication of the date. And it's a bit of a pain because there is no mechanism to get this automatically updated. So we are bound to forget to change the date when we update the document, but it's still better than having no dates. Even if we forget to change the date, at least it's not going to be completely no dates.
Yeah, totally agree. So yeah, let's hopefully we can work out a better, more automated way to do it, but at least we can for now. You're going to add a PR just to add a date onto the document itself.
Yeah,
okay.
and in fact, I mean, we started yesterday, and it says that it was published by the OpenSSF Best Working Group, Best Practices Working Group, and it puts the date after it.
Does it also include a link to the source file in on GitHub?
Actually, it does have that at the very bottom. If you look,
oh, I see. It has improved this page.
Improve,
yeah, okay.
Which is not quite the same because it kind of, you know, puts you in the mode where you trying to edit and send a pull request, which is maybe not, you know, what everybody wants to do, but.
Right. It puts it into edit mode. Okay, right.
Yeah, okay. What's the norm? Because I see sometimes when you go to bottom of certain docs, you see edit this page on GitHub. I've seen that, so it's very clear that when you're clicking on it, you're editing.
We don't put this, right? It's the
we don't put this.
It's done automatically.
I see.
So.
I see.
Well, it's done by software, so maybe.
Yeah, but it's not software that's under our control. It's done by GitHub. And this is the whole thing about the publication of those documents on the best.openssf.org website. We've been debating how to do this. And David says, look, there is an easy way. It's super simple. It is limited, but I suggest we just stick to this, which I agreed with because, and we talked about this on the talk yesterday, because there's alternatives. You can have a whole Jekyll environment and create your own, and then we could use markup with liquid and stuff. And I do that like in the Salsa specification, the whole website, salsa.dev is done like this. But it's no small task to maintain this. And just to publish a few documents seems a bit overkill.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I take the point. Well, as long as we can get the other, but if we're adding other metadata like the date, then maybe it makes sense to add in the file a link back to the Git, manually added in a link back to the repo so that we also say fork us on GitHub or something like that, or I don't know, whatever you say.
We could have that kind of header That's what we've been trying to establish, is some kind of standard header that we would try to put on all these documents.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we'll wait for your PR, Arnaud, and then,
Yeah, on this one in particular, but if you want to see what it looks like, it was done for, where was it? If you go to the best.opensssf.org website, for the concise guides, they already have that. The link to the repo, actually, I got that from, no, it only points to best. Maybe we should change that.
I see, so it's up at the top
Yeah.
by the Open Source Security Foundation Best Practice Working Group and then a date. Yeah.
Oh, what's the link? How do you share
Just
the link?
best.opensssf.org.
Oh, okay, just go to the main one.
And then there's a link to Concise Guide and yeah, there's no link to ours thing yet because we haven't said it's done.
I see. So buy this and then the date.
But so you can get to the repo indirectly if you click on, where it says best practices working group. You click there, it puts you to the home page of the best.opensssf.org website, which then links to the repo.
I see.
But it's a choice. Do we link directly to the repo or do we link to the website? I think since we are trying to present a more like, wavy interface to the group, it seems reasonable to do it the way it's done now.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it will probably improve in the future. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, yes.
So, but yeah, I will add the date for this document, your SCM best practice doc.
So then I think when's the next next best practices working group call?
It's not going to be next week because of US holidays. So it'll be 2 weeks from then. So around the
well, I guess if we can, so we're going to have another SCM guide call before then.
Yes.
So we could try and finish up what needs to be finished up by then. I actually have to week off as well, so it's kind of like we're kind of going into a low period now, but we then could say we can put ourselves on the agenda for the next best practices group call and tell the group that we're done. I guess is
I like that.
And, with version 1.0, whatever. Yeah.
I agree. And we can always, like you were asking about feedback for the icons and all. I think it's fine as a V1. We can always get feedback and do that in a
yeah. I agree. Okay. Sounds good. Shall we close off in that case?
Sounds good.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
We can.